Howdy everyone, it's me once again, the one and only Killer Rodan. And today, as you can see, I'm still continuing my Disney movie marathon by talking about something Disney related. I want to bring up Frozen. I mean, okay, to be more specific, the franchise, I guess you can say. I mean, okay, to be more specific, maybe it's not the franchise itself, really, to be more precise. Because if anything, it's like, I guess, to an extent, I could say, I guess the Disney fan base, but I just want to narrow it down to the fan base of the Frozen franchise and just how they're going to be really, well, something else. And again, I'm fine with the franchise. I'm perfectly fine with the franchise. It's just the fans, so I'm just thinking that's a whole other story. Yeah, I'm not drunk enough for this. Ugh. Just want to do a quick little thing here, folks. That's all. Ugh. And yeah, before anybody starts saying things that I'm just targeting a specific group of people, that's not what I'm doing here. Yeah, there's plenty of other individuals, other fan bases that can be just as guilty, and what I'm about to talk about that can be really toxic and really just bad, I guess you would say, and be a bad reputation of said franchise, whether it's video games, movies, shows, or whatever else that may be. There's plenty of others, even music as well, of course. Yeah, I realize that some of the things I'm about to say in this video can be applied to them as well. So, yeah. And mind you, I'm just gonna bring up a few pet peeves here, folks, because if I just go and bring up a lot more stuff, this video will be like, what, 3, 4 hours or anything, and I don't want to do that. And yes, I realize what I'm about to say here is not going to apply to every single fan, okay? Just a good chunk of them, that is all. So, with that being said, let's get into it, shall we? Yeah, the whole bit with having Elsa and Jack Frost be a thing in the fan base. This is something I brought up before, but I do have a hunch that this is meant to be as a way to counter the fact that give Elsa a girlfriend, that whole deal there. But even if it wasn't for that, even if that's not the case, it still seems weird. Just because they have power doesn't mean they should be a couple. And people get mad if you disagree with them if you don't want them to be together. Okay, what? And number nine, then there are fans who really want Elsa to be a lesbian, which in itself doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing per se, of course. But however, there'll be fans who will call you a straight up homophobe if you disagree with them. I personally don't think she needs to have a girlfriend because it's been like how many stories, how many books already, and how many films. Don't you think that might be a little late? But the fans would just take it to way too far when you think about it. There was even a parody of this, folks, which I did speak about before, like ages ago. And yes, to be fair, Disney should embrace the LGBT community. Maybe not with Frozen, but just with other characters. So what's taken them? They've been around since the late 1930s. Well, okay, sooner than that technically, but still, come on. And number eight is the fans who are homophobic. Yeah, this is like the other extreme, I guess you can say, of what he just said. Acting as though that Disney is trying to support the devil, Satanism, and all that just for having the possibility, the slightest possibility of her being like this. Just because the fans want it to be a certain way doesn't necessarily mean it will happen, but still, give me a break here. Then there'll be also Frozen fans who basically would take things to another way, as of course. Speaking of extremism, of course, why I don't mind having strong female leads, that's a great thing. But these individuals will act as if that this is the only thing that makes the film great. It could be one of the components to make it great, sure, but the absolutely only thing, no, I'm gonna have to disagree with that. Oh boy. And speaking of hooking up, and yes, they went as far to have that kind of relationship with her own sister. I mean, there's some hypothetical fan fiction where they're not related, but a good chunk of it is them being like this blood related. That's just gross. Come on, people. I know it's just them trying to fetishize this two characters and whatnot, sure, but still though, give me a break. Just no. Fans of the first film didn't really like the second movie too much because they felt that it was inspired by the woke culture, the social justice warriors, feminazis, just because they showed a different group of individuals from a different race and be a part of the major story somehow. So yeah, this didn't go so well with a lot of the fans of the first film, which seems odd. Why is this a problem? I don't know. Just okay. And mind you, don't get me wrong, folks. I never said you can't talk about politics when it comes to animated films. That's fine. And I know it's a decisive thing among people, the movie goers and whatnot, when it comes to politics because a lot of people choose one side over the other. Well, you can't be on one side, but a lot of people tend to just stick to one thing. But, people can be several and be have a side, I'm just saying, just to be perfectly clear here. I guess another pet peeve is that making references to like the song "Let It Go" without actually understanding the meaning of it really like at all, or just randomly quoting lines from both films just to be funny, I guess. And which is that was kind of odd, but just dismissing the whole context of certain things, whatever it may be, just flat out ignoring it altogether. All right, another thing I did bring up before in one of my previous videos is that really just oh look, that's pretty, that's pretty. Oh, this is pretty, that's pretty. That's literally it. A whole lot of a lot of fans from some Facebook uh groups and whatnot, forums, and just talk about that's pretty. Oh, this is pretty. The images are pretty. Literally just the prettiness of it all. I literally nothing meaningful really, plot or whatever. All right, last thing being is that the fan base really want to have a third installment. Well, I'm extremely iffy when it comes to this because the third part occurs. But ultimately, I'd say leave it alone. Just don't mess with it. Mind you, I did enjoy both films. I'm not saying I didn't, but ultimately, just leave it alone. Why ruin a good thing? I mean, you could make a good story if done correctly, sure, but still. All right, folks, that'll be it. I know there's plenty of other things that could be considered as annoying when it comes to the fan base, or any other fan base for that matter. But because if I continue this would just be going forever. And mind you, the movies I'm fine with. The animated shorts, the show or whatever, the books, I'm fine with them. Especially with the movies and whatnot, they're fine. They're just fine. It's just the fan base, if anything. Anyway, as always, thanks for watching and take care. Until next time, see you.